Once more we return to France's capital of cutlery, Thiers. And once more we return to the cutlery company, Claude Dozorme. Welcome to my review of the Thiers Verrou by Claude Dozorme. I recently introduced you to this very unusual variant of a Thiers knife, also made by Claude Dozorme. In today's video we will take a look at another extraordinary Thiers knife. Just to remind you of what a traditional Thiers knife looks like, let me show you Chambriard's Le Compagnon. At first glance there isn't that much of a difference except for the materials, but I promise we will get to the very unique feature of this knife in a bit. First, let's get an idea of the size of this knife. The closed length is 13.5 centimeters. The overall length is 22 centimeters. The blade length is 10 centimeters and the blade thickness is 2.5 millimeters, but as you can see, the spine of the blade continuously tapers towards the tip. The weight comes in at exactly 100 grams. Let's compare this knife to two other French knives. Here I've got an Opinel number 8. And this is a classic Laguiole knife with a 12 centimeter handle. Very obviously the blade comes with a mirror polish. The blade shape follows the traditional Thiers pattern. This etching on the blade, Thiers par Claude Dozorme, tells us that this knife was officially approved by the Thiers Guild of Knife Makers. The blade steel is Z50 CD15, a stainless steel that is mainly used for high-end kitchen cutlery. There are better steels in terms of edge holding, but Z50 CD15 has a high stain resistance and is very easy to sharpen. By the way, it's the same blade steel that they use for this model. The blade is flat ground and came scarily sharp out of this decorative presentation box. The handle provides a comfortable full forefinger grip. The handle material is blonde horn, a natural material which adds to the overall classy look of the knife. But the Thiers Verrou is also available with several other handle materials. The handle scales are fastened with 3 screws on each side. Please note that the handle scales are recessed here, so that you can actually see parts of the stainless steel liners and the pivot pin. The back spring and the liners are decorated with file work, or maybe I should say laser work. This very subtle guillochage is not done by hand, it's done by a laser. Otherwise, this knife would be much more expensive. From a purist point of view, you may debate the use of modern technology, but I think the beautiful result speaks for itself. Now, what makes this knife really special is the locking mechanism. This knife is called Thiers Verrou, with verrou being the French word for bolt or lock. Most traditional French knives are slip joints, but this knife comes with a very unique locking mechanism that was invented by Jacques Levigne, a local aeronautical engineer from the Auvergne region. And this locking mechanism is exclusively patented to Claude Dozorme. How does it work? If the lock is disengaged, the blade rotates freely around the pivot. There is only a bit of friction between the liners and the blade tang. One component of the lock is this notch here. However, when the blade is in the open position, the back spring does not snap into place automatically, as you would expect. You can push down the back spring and then the blade is locked, but that would be very awkward if you actually had to push down the spring all the time. And that's where this lever type of thing comes into play. If you push it down, the head of the spring moves down and firmly locks the blade. Like so. Once again, watch this part of the spring. It's a very effective mechanism. The blade doesn't go anywhere. And there is no risk of accidentally disengaging the lock. This piece of metal serves an additional purpose. It also locks the blade in its closed position. As you can see, it covers the tip of the blade, and again, the blade doesn't go anywhere. Very clever and very unique. If you happen to be a fan of tactical folding knives that allow for fast deployment of the blade, I have to tell you that you have watched the wrong video. This locking mechanism is definitely not about fast deployment, which is a good thing. This knife is about slowing down and relaxing. It's about celebrating good times with your friends. Enjoy your life. That's what this knife should remind you of. The cutlery company Claude Dozorme was a very interesting discovery for me. This company pays attention to detail which is not only reflected in the excellent build quality of their knives, but also in their literature. Look at this booklet that came with this knife. It explains every aspect of the knife. There are instructions on how to engage and disengage the blade. Plus there is information on the materials and the company's history. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Thiers Verrou by Claude Dozorme. Thanks for watching and take care.